Hello and welcome to Football Fantasy Tips. We're a new channel dedicated to creating quality and insightful football content for football fans, including fantasy tips, guides, match predictions, and team news. In this video, we'll draft the official Football Fantasy Tips team and we'll follow it throughout the season as we aim for as high a rank as possible, providing you with all the FPL tips, team news, and differential picks as we go along. If anyone's new to FPL, you get a 100 million budget to spend on 15 players. You then score the points based on their returns such as goals, assists, clean sheets, and the like. Let's get into it. When selecting your team, take the following factors into consideration. Is the player you selected in the starting 11 certain to start for their team? It's vital to make sure. How much does the player cost, and how will that affect your team's budget going forward? Does that leave you enough to get in the premium players you need or want? How many other managers already own the player? The more managers that own the player, the less of a differential they will be. How did the player look last season? How did they end the season? How did their team? And who are their opponents in the first 3 to 8 game weeks? These are all things you should consider. Set pieces and penalties. FPL veterans will know how important set pieces and penalties are, so it's good to make sure you have a few in your team. A few set piece and penalty takers in your team, You'll find a link for set piece and penalty takers for every team in the description of the video below. Our first pick for our FPL team for the 2021-22 season is Brighton and Hove Albion's goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Brighton and Hove Albion's early fixtures mean Sanchez has a chance to establish himself as the go-to keeper for many FPL managers. He had a brilliant season last time out with 10 clean sheets, 8 bonus points and 101 total points in only 27 outings. Priced at a bargain £4.5 million, Sanchez has already made a huge impression on the FPL community. The Spaniard is currently the second most owned keeper in the game, sitting in over 30% of squads. Brighton's impressive finish to last campaign highlights the potential of their regulars in defence. Their total of 8 clean sheets in the final 19 game weeks put them among the top 3 sides. They only conceded 17 goals during that period, second only to the 13 of Manchester City. Wow, impressive. Brighton play only 2 of the last season's top 9 teams in the first 8 game weeks. They play all 3 newly promoted teams in that period, including Watford, Brentford, and Norwich. They finished joint 4th in clean sheets last year, and Sanchez himself saved an impressive 70% of all shots he faced last season. He's first onto our team for expected clean sheets and bonus points, and will remain till we decide to use a wildcard sometime maybe around after game week 8. Our second pick is Scotland captain Andy Robertson, who makes it onto our team for his defensive tenacity and attacking threat. Some key stats taken from 1vs1.com help highlight just how dangerous he can be as an FPL asset. Last season, Robertson was top 5 in chances created, top 5 in key passes, number 2 in key passes inside the box, number 2 defender for creating goal-scoring opportunities, this is the most important stat, and number 1 in passes into the final third among defenders. In total, Robbo provided 1 goal, 8 assists, and 12 clean sheets last season, finishing as the highest scoring defender in the game with 161 points, 1 point ahead of teammate Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is priced at 7.5, 0.5 higher than he is. So why Liverpool? Liverpool are title challengers looking to start strong. They have a favourable starting fixtures against Norwich and Burnley, which you'd expect you'd get a lot of attacking returns from Liverpool's attackers in those 2 matches. However, the 2 premium-priced Liverpool fullbacks have forced managers to decide who is more worthy of investment. Now, we've gone with Robbo to outscore or match Trent in total points throughout the season, and we hope he won't let us down. Under Ancelotti, Everton made a great start to the season last year. This year, their key players are well-rested, and they arguably have the best opening fixtures, facing no top 6 sides in the first 6 game weeks. Rafa Benitez's CV speaks for itself. Everton should get off to a good start with the opening fixtures they have. Digne is nailed on to start the opening fixture versus Southampton at Goodison, and Benitez will be hoping the left back will be in top condition defensively and as an attacking threat. Coming in at 5.5 million is our last starting defender, Man United captain Harry Maguire. He played in virtually all games last season, recording 2 goals and 2 assists. That places him only 3 returns behind teammates Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, despite playing centre-back. He continued his good form at Euro 2020, grabbing a goal as part of an England defence that only conceded 2 goals all tournament. Look, Maguire looked deadly coming up for set pieces, and he really looks like getting on the end of things towards the end of last season and at the Euros. We also expect him to get more clean sheets this season. Should Man United complete the signing of Rafael Varane, the Real Madrid centre-half will considerably improve United's defence. According to the official FPL stats, Maguire ranks 3rd for goal threat among all EPL defenders. He just really needs to start finishing his chances. At only 9.2% owned, Maguire offers a great differential and a way into a Man United defence that should improve this season. His aerial threat is underrated, and with Luke Shaw rumoured to potentially be missing the start of the season, Maguire could be FPL dynamite for double returns. With 22 goals and 6 assists last season, the most expensive player in the game is priced as such a premium for a good reason. Coming in at 12.5 million, Mo Salah is Liverpool's talisman in attack and is on penalties and set pieces. Here are some of his top stats from last season. Number 2 in goals scored with 22, number 2 in big chances, number 2 in shots on target, and top 5 in key passes, top 5 in chance creation. Mo Salah makes for a good captain choice in most game weeks and is a player we did not want to miss out on. At 29, he's still at his peak and will be pivotal as Liverpool look to challenge for the English Premier League title again this year. This leaves us with 67 million in the bank, a big chunk of which we're about to spend on another premium player immediately. This leaves us with 67 million in the bank, a big chunk of which we're going to spend on another premium player immediately, with Bruno Fernandes. With 18 goals scored and 14 assists, Bruno Fernandes was last year's top FPL asset. We believe that with all the signings Man United have made, this year Bruno will not only match but surpass last season's stats, of which he was 3rd in goals scored with 18, 3rd in shots on target, 2nd in assists with 14, and number 1 in key passes. A key stat to highlight is Bruno's bonus points. He got 36 bonus points in total last season, which is a bit mad if you think about it. That's an average of a little over 1 bonus point a game across all 38 games. As of right now, Bruno Fernandes will be our opening day captain versus Leeds in a fiery match we expect to be full of goals. The encounter is followed by a good-looking fixtures against Southampton and Wolves away, then Newcastle at home. Mark my words, Emil Smith-Rowe will be the bargain 5.5 million midfielder of the season. He's involved in all things good for Arsenal going forward and offers great attacking potential. With limited game time last season, Smith-Rowe is an academy player who broke into the first team and returned 2 goals and 5 assists, many of which came towards the end of the season. And now that with Martin Odegaard leaving the club, you can expect Smith-Rowe to grow as the main number 10, and with that his FPL returns. He's already been given the number 10 shirt recently by Arteta. Arsenal don't have the easiest start to this season, but Smith-Rowe is someone we're looking to hang on to for the long run, as after Chelsea and City they face Norwich and Burnley. The good news about Arsenal is they ended the league like a team that knew what their game plan was, winning 5 games, scoring 11 and keeping 3 clean sheets. You wouldn't put it past the Gunners to start the season carrying over their good form from last season. Next, Mason Mount comes into our team at 7.5 million. The Chelsea midfielder, in our opinion, is the best Chelsea asset to start the season next to Kai Havertz. But for 1 million less, you will get a regular nailed-on starter who is on set pieces and features heavily in Chelsea's attack. Arguably, he is more nailed on to start than any other Chelsea attacking asset, in our opinion. We've selected Mount to target specifically the Crystal Palace fixture at Stamford Bridge on opening day. However, there is a high chance we transfer him out for a Man City midfielder in the second game week, who play Norwich, by the way. Without a doubt, we expect Mount to better his FPL stats from last season of 6 goals and 7 assists, 16 bonus points. As Richarlison is currently away for Brazil at the Olympics, there's absolutely no reason why Dominic Calvert-Lewin would not start on opening day versus Southampton for Everton at Goodison. A favourable run of early opponents has made the striker a top target for fantasy managers, many of whom are drawn by the fact that Everton avoid all of last term's top 8 sides in the first 6 game weeks. Such a tasty run of fixtures has earned Calvert-Lewin a place in around 30% of squads, making him the 3rd most popular forward in the game. Everton's fine schedule suggests Calvert-Lewin can mirror his quick start to the previous campaign, where he produced 10 goals and an assist across the first 9 outings, blanking only once. If you remember, you remember. That helped the striker deliver his best ever fantasy season, combining 16 goals and 6 assists for a total of 165 points. When selected, Calvert-Lewin was involved in a team leading 54% of Everton's goals last year. The underlying numbers suggest the forward will again be a key player this season. Everything points to another strong start for the striker in Everton's first season under new manager Rafael Benitez. And now we get to probably what is our favorite pick of the bunch, which is Ivan Toney for Brentford striker for 6.5 million. In our opinion, Ivan Toney is an absolute bargain at 6.5 million, and Brentford's starting fixtures don't look too bad. We're backing him to make a flying start to life in the EPL with newly promoted Brentford. Last year, he broke the most goals ever scored by a championship player, with 33 goals in total and 10 assists on top of that. We're not expecting him to replicate that form, but a run like that just doesn't disappear. The 25-year-old is still getting better and is a fox in the box that occupies defenders for the full 90, averaging 3 shots a game last season. He's one we're really looking forward to watching and cheering on, as will many others, as he is currently owned by 35% of fantasy managers who have jumped aboard the Ivan Toney bandwagon. And now to our final pick in our starting 11 and our not-so-secret weapon, Edinson Cavani. Coming in at 8.5 million, Cavani looked lethal last season, registering 10 goals, 4 assists and 14 bonus points with limited playtime. We expect him to start versus Leeds on opening day and for the first few fixtures until the European fixtures begin. El Matador will be a talisman for United's front line this season. What will be especially interesting to look at is his link-up play with Bruno Fernandes, which has been superb. The two were really displaying a real rhythm to their game towards the end of last season, and we look forward to more of it this year. He's a decent differential pick and could really add to your team. The remaining budget has been spent on a bench that starts. First, Eric Dier is likely to start for Tottenham, who should improve defensively under Nuno Espirito Santo, who is known for keeping it tight at the back. We expect Eric Dier to retain his place even if a new centre-half is brought in. It is more likely that they will be brought in to play next to rather than to replace. Manquillo is one of the few 4.0 defenders that has a high chance of starting. We will have to wait and see how solid the Newcastle backline looks when the season kicks off, but Manquillo was the highest playing minutes player for 4.0 last season. Next we have Bissouma, which is Paul Pogba light. Starts most games for Brighton and has a hell of a shot on him. He's in our team over Billy Gilmore, who is also priced at 4.5. But we believe he will be played more defensively and Bissouma offers a higher ceiling for returns. Lastly, we have Ben Foster, who is a 4.0 goalkeeper to make up the numbers, and we'll leave it at that. So here's the team summary. We've got some great opening fixtures. We're set up for the first 4 to 8 game weeks with transfers in mind for the next few game weeks, which we'll discuss in the next video. All of our players should start except for Ben Foster. Our entire squad is expected to start. Our captaincy pick, we're going to go with Bruno versus Leeds. It's going to be a high scoring game and Bruno will be chomping at the bit to get back to his stats padding. In our entire team, we've got 4 really good FPL combos in Robertson and Salah, Liverpool's Robertson and Salah, United's Maguire, Fernandes to Maguire, Fernandes to Cavani, etc. Digne to Calvert-Lewin, and a Sanchez Lamptey double up for the clean sheets. So looking forward to game week 2, we'll look to bring in maybe 1 or 2 more Man City players to target the Norwich game at home. The most likely move is a straight swap for Mount for Gundogan, but nothing's been decided yet. If you've enjoyed this FPL preview, please subscribe and comment below how we can improve going forward. For now, goodbye, and we'll see you next time on Football Fantasy Tips.